Hello and welcome back to the Everton Extra YouTube channel. I'm going to provide another weekly roundup of this week's transfer rumours among what is probably the most tumultuous last few days of the history of football. I, yeah, it's been incredible. Obviously, new stuff's coming out every few minutes. I'm making this video just off the back of Jordan Henderson's announcement that he'll be getting the collective captains of the Premier League together, which is hopefully encouraging news. But anyway, with the video. So our first rumour comes from Fabrizio Romano, of course, reliable source, and that Everton are still keen to sell Moise Kean, but they're going to start negotiations around 50 million euros. That is. PSG, of course, as we know before in previous videos, they're at the forefront of this race. They really want him, as is understandable with his 15 goals that he's scored. However, it looks like Everton have also organised for Italian clubs to be a part of the race. By the looks of it, Italian clubs would only join the race for Moise Kean's signature. Juventus also being one of them, if PSG failed to find an agreement with Everton. Our next kind of rumour that's coming around is the future of SEAMUS Coleman. So Everton is believed are in talks with SEAMUS Coleman, who's now 32 years old, over this possibility of a coaching role in the future. Marcel Brands has confirmed this. It's likely he's going to face further competition at right back. Of course, he's been out of the side up against Holgate. You've got Ben Godfrey who can probably operate there. You've got the future of John Joe Kenny a bit undetermined. He's on loan at Celtic, of course, and he'll be coming back, so that's another right back. And of course, we keep on meaning with Max Aarons as our new starting right back, hopefully. So I think it's approaching a time for, he's an Everton legend, but it's approaching the time for him to hang up his boots. I definitely believe that. But Carlo Ancelotti also has gone on to further say that, he wants a right back in the summer. That he's made that very, very clear. It's sad, of course. SEAMUS Coleman has served the club remarkably, but by the looks of it, the source goes on to say that the club are keen to retain his services as both a player and a coach. So I don't see this as something that's going to happen within the immediate future, within the next year. I think this could be a decision possibly during next season or at the end of next season. Because of course we know in the dressing room what he is like. He's a fantastic leader from the front, and even though he may not be on the pitch much, he's that leadership we need in the changing rooms. We need that, and I think hopefully if we can somehow get Europe this season, that's even better. We need a guy like him there, and of course if he was to be retained as a coach after he retires, even better. Like with the Leighton Baines kind of plan, you've got two legends who understand the club, and we're keeping within the club in the higher rankings what we want to keep, which is the identity of Everton Football Club. Something that I think six certain teams could learn a lot from, as we've seen the last few days. So our last one coming from the Times. Everton are, of course, lining up a move for right back Max Aarons, and they will look to haggle it down to 30 million. I talked about this last week, but I believe the price was slightly different. Everton are really trying to push the asking price down a lot more, and this is just another rumour that confirms the one I talked about last week. More and more rumours coming out obviously supports these kind of stories. The more that come out, generally that means, it's a pretty truthful thing. So that obviously looks positive. I've made my comments be known about Max Aarons. I think he's absolute quality. Of course, they've recently, in the last week, just got promoted back to the Premier League, Norwich, which congratulations to them, but I think we can all agree it's the way Norwich have always been. They're a bit of a rebounder club. They will get relegated and promoted, relegated, promoted. I wouldn't be surprised if they get relegated again next season. So it's worth noting that if we were not able to get Max Aarons' services this year, which I do think we will be able to, I think that it would become a stronger possibility of getting him if Norwich were to get relegated next year, if we fail to get him, that is. But that is your weekly transfer roundup. I hope that everybody is, constantly checking and refreshing their feed. Let me know down in the comments about your views of these transfer rumours this week, but also Do you think the Seamus Coleman future is a wise one? Do you think we should keep him at the club? Or do we let him go his own separate ways? Who knows? It's obviously down to him and the club. And obviously, let me know as well, what are your feelings about the sneaky six? You know, this is absolutely shaken up everything in the football world, and I'm so happy that this morning Everton released the statement they did, being the first club to come out and personally condemn all six clubs and their owners. And I think that is a fantastic move and just proves why we are the people's club and why we all love Everton. So that's our club, and it's something to be extremely proud of. But thank you for listening. I'll see you guys next week with more further transfer updates, and hopefully there'll be a resolution to the European Super League facade that is going on. Thank you guys.